Hello, friends. Very good evening. Hope you all will be doing well at your home among this pandemic situation of COVID 19. Uh, and you will be enjoying a wonderful Sunday at home. There was a book in the group named Imagining India by Nandan Nilekani that was to be reviewed, and it took almost 1 month to complete this book. It took me almost 1 month to complete this book. I'm very thankful to Ashok Kumar Sharma sir who has recommended the book, and it is an excellent book. And I would try to review this book in detail. Nandan Nilekani's book on Imagining India is an important landmark in finding strategies between the tensions of old India and Bharat. Even though the readers of this book are not have been defined, not and this but this can be a useful book for administrators, academicians, planners, entrepreneurs, and enlightened citizens, and everyone who is socially sensitive. This book can be also used as a handbook for policy related debates, problem analysis. Imagining India presents actually a very refreshing view of describing and addressing the issues of national importance. This book provides a different perspective on looking at problems uh, and issues in the Indian context from a traditional perspective of addressing the issues based on caste, religion, and region. This book is built on the core philosophy of issues related to education, employment, generation, security, safety of citizens, and healthcare, and basically the quality of life. All the aspects related to quality of life. According to the author, these issues are relevant and critical to every citizen in this country, irrespective of caste, religion, and in this sense, this book is built on a strong problem foundation, which will lead to secular outlook in identifying and addressing the issues related to India. Actually, this book is written in 4 parts. First part one briefly describes the ideas and concepts that has gone through a radical transformation in the Indian context. Second part of the book briefly presents a whole range of ideas and concepts which are accepted by the people but are not yet fully settled. Third part of this book deals with concepts where discussion is alive among the people. Pardon. Fourth and final part of the book this deals with ideas, concepts, which in the opinion of author could induce and generate serious discussion in near future to decide and determine the policy options for a developed India transforming from a developing nation. This book is mm, based on interesting logic which holds the potential of India as a developed nation. The author acknowledges the fact that the economic growth is important in context of India evolving as a developed nation. The two pillars of growth induce expanding access to the resources, physical as well as infrastructural and conceptual, and allowing access and opportunity to every person. According to the author, the young and vibrant middle class and its vibrant democracy in India, they are the important attraction of this country. According to the author, transformation of India into a developed nation would be a function of our ability to orient ourselves from a business oriented reform from our business oriented reforms to market oriented reforms. Uh, and uh, I would rather invite every reader to go through this book seriously. Actually, it's a marvelous book. It's a marvelous book. Now I would like to review this book in parts. First section deals with the ideas that have yet been arrived. Initially, the population was considered to be a burden. Now, the Indian population and its significant middle class are seen as an asset for consumption-led growth. Large Indian population is clearly imagining as an advantage for India in near term. In this book, further in this section, further they deal in following chapters like entrepreneurs. In India, we have moved from government-controlled license RAS to private sector-led wealth creation model. Uh, English initially was in this section we are discussing basically the strategies India has taken and the problems which India has faced and the probably English as a language. English was not was initially a symbol of elitism. Has now been defined, evolved as a medium of instruction in common language of the and the concept it connects people from various states. A role of computers. Initially, the computers were considered to be a substitute of labor, but now has been accepted as a tool of improved productivity. Indian reservation system, Indian Railways reservation system, is a significant example of the improvement that can be brought by the application of computer and information technology. Large number of e-governance project initiated point towards a direction in which technology is likely to be used as an enabler for economic growth. Has been and IT has been fully recognized by this country, connecting the world. In another chapter, author says the discusses the full cycle of India from being a dominant partner in world trade from in the ancient history, in the days of ancient history, uh, to an isolated nation post independence when India was defined as a socialist country. India behaved as a socialist, closed economy. Over a period of time, global investment in India is driven by the talent available in the market and opportunities available in the country. The author discusses about democracy. According to the author, British rule laid the foundations of democracy. Even though our democracy is driven by caste, religion, and regional considerations, the emergence of election commission and the subsequent electoral reforms have firmly initiated the democratic way in this country. In the other sections, in section 2 of the book, ideas. Author discusses idea in progress that have been identified, but their implementation is not yet complete. In which, author discusses about schools. Author says that our education policy is focused on schools, not on students. We have created several schools with a centralized process. School is still seen as a business opportunity by the private sector. Our government spends significant amount of money with no clear impact. The accountability of teachers towards the taught is neither monitored nor factored in. The midday meal was a revolutionary policy. Actually, it is a revolutionary policy which encourages different children from certain social strata to go to school. The involvement of government in managing local schools is debated widely, but it will happen. The larger issues is how to build student-friendly schools in this country. Author discusses cities and slums. Author says that the development of our cities has been characterized by poor planning, supported by dated and a regulatory environment. Land is identified as a critical resource. Our cities over a period of time have become centers of crowd pulling, resulting in an enormous burden on the existing infrastructure. With no addition, with no addition in the cities, the ITO and BPO industries are aiding to this chaos and confusion. As a consequence, living in the city is expensive. A large number of population live in suboptimal, unacceptable conditions. Author discusses the state of infrastructure. There has been a very little focus on infrastructure projects post-independence, leading to poor infrastructure development in this country. In addition, land has been a rare commodity. The Golden Quadrilateral. The author discusses about the Golden Quadrilateral plan. Golden Quadrilateral is not only unique, but speaks a quantum leap. in the existing infrastructure. The need for a string of seaports and a network of roads, airports is recognized as a critical need for infrastructure development. However, implementation has not been at the required pace. Telephone connections have become a reality. The future of low-cost airlines is still unclear. As a country of political agenda, in our country, the political agenda has moved from roti kapda makan to pani, sadak, and bijli. Our elections are based on performance rather than emotion. Author discusses the current state also. This book is actually very interesting, and I would request you all. I've gone through about 20 books post the lockdown in India, but I would recommend this one book that everyone should read. Author further discusses emerging single market. Author says that regionalization is in India is slowly fading away, but the process need to accelerate and the implications have to be studied well. Employability, job opportunity, education, uh, to minimize differential growth rates in various regions. To become a developed nation, we should pilot the country towards single consolidated market rather than large number of pockets of excellence in isolation. In the third section, author discusses about the ideas that are under debate, that are to be debated, that are to be implemented. Author first discusses economic reforms and says that our economic reforms are not yet complete. They have been predominantly business oriented. The reforms should be routed to a market orientation. Usually, in the Indian context, passion and anger preceded the logic. Anything new that comes here and that has to face the wrath of different part of country and people like that. Author discusses the job opportunities. Employment and employability would be crucial issues that is to be addressed by the country in the near future. The agriculture sector has its own limitations. We require innovative approaches to create more jobs. There is a limitation into the job that can be created by a state. Hope it will be based on private investment and entrepreneurship. Education leading to employability would be the key driver in this exercise. Actually, many educated persons are not employed. They need a serious change in our education policy. University also discusses university that has almost become a center of political agendas. Our universities, the author says that our university needs to evolve as institution of learning, research. Instead of advising politicians and proposing policy options, they became a center of politics. The quality of universities education need a dramatic improvement. The regulators' role, the UGC, discuss about UGC, the regulators, university regulators' role has to be redefined. Several universities have been started with public investment with very little accountability. The institution industry interface is very poor. The research and development are separate institutions and completely insulated from universities. Private institutions have been started with hope, but their impact is varied. Author in the last section discusses about ideas that are yet to be immersed. Author discusses about ICT, the integration of information technology with the growth of our country. Pardon. Author says IT is a great enabler. It simplifies the process and it should be leveraged to deliver quality products and services to the common man. While several governance projects has been launched, the implementation, progress and impact has been slow. Our land records have been kept poorly. One of the significant application could be computerization of records, while our accomplishment in this area would be significant. The future we will see more IT and communication enabled service in the products. Author in the book discusses several case studies. I was really impressed by the book, and I recommend everyone that if you have time and you want to read one book, I would recommend among. I would again reiterate that. I recommend and request everyone to go through this book by a hard copy, preferably. Author discusses about changing epidemics, the health conditions. India was known as a poor country. From this status, it has moved to a status of country which has dealt with lifestyle disease. The primary healthcare network is extensive. However, the impact in the reach is not impressive. Cost of care is neither regulated nor affordable to the large segment of operation. The emerging paradigm is preventive care by yoga and exercise in the country. The country needs to evolve and launch an impact making public healthcare policies. Other discusses about social insecurities of the old age people that get retired in the organized sector and unorganized sector as well. With joint families, author says that with joint families giving away to the nuclear families, managing old population is growing to be a formidable challenge. Insurance and management of pension funds would be the key enabler in providing secured life of aged people. According to the author, the part of this problem can be resolved by market-driven reforms. By market-driven reforms, author basically wants to link the pension schemes and pension funds to the market. Actually, in the long run, the market will definitely deliver a better return than fixed provident funds and any other instruments, debt funds. Author discusses environmental issues. India need to address issues related to sources of energy. The efforts related to managing and controlling population is formidable. The challenges include managing water resources, air pollution control, cleaning of rivers, and addressing the energy needs of the country. Preserving forests is going to be another challenging task. India will spend a significant amount of time and energy in managing the climatic conditions also. Now, I would conclude with two the thoughts that what is in the book. I would like to discuss as a summary. I would like to discuss what is in the book. Imagining is India is a portfolio of well-researched, well-known ideas documented in detail. This is not necessarily interesting to read. Thanks to the narrative style of author, while the book does not contain new ideas, most of these ideas and concepts have been discussed and talked about in public places with various levels of detail. The unique feature of this book is that it does not provide a solution to several problems addressed in the book, but the real strength of this book is that it provides a platform for the citizens to debate and discuss the policy options which are critical in transforming India to a developed nation. What message the book gives? The subtle message in the book includes the idea that India should move towards a market-oriented reforms. It should rapidly evolve as a single large consolidated market for consumption and employability. A rapid transformation towards private ownership of business would accelerate the growth agenda of country. India needs to encourage entrepreneurship, leverage ICT, and connect to the global market to re-establish its preeminent position in the trade that was in ancient times. Investment in education and knowledge creation would be a prerequisite in creating an awakened India. Rapid promotion and progress of infrastructure would accelerate the economic reforms in the country. In order to enhance the quality of life, the concern of poor should be addressed urgently. The population and environmental related issues would need greater attention and investment. The India democracy should be strengthened and protected to make this country as a worthwhile part of planet to live. Actually, I again, for the third time, I again reiterate and recommend and request you all that if you have time and you want to read this or read one book this year, you must buy this book. It would make you a different. It would give. It has the capability. This book has the capability to provide you a strength and a different perspective, especially for those persons who like to debate on government policies. This will be a very helpful book. Uh, Thank you. It was a long review. Hope you were not bored. Thank you very much. We will meet next time, and I will try to review another book, and I will disclose that book in the group that I am currently studying. Actually, I'm planning to study The Better India by mm, the book Better India by Narayan Murthy ji. Thank you. Bye bye.